Yeah, welcome back to the Gavel. We're still talking about the fourth attempt by the National Assembly to amend the 1999 Constitution. Now, earlier we sat down with Senator Omo-Agege and Representative Uko Nkole, who explained why some key aspects of the proposed amendment failed in the Senate and the House of Representatives. We continue our conversation with another member of the House of Representatives from Delta State, Representative Nicholas Ossai, who is giving a different perspective on the need to have a brand new constitution.
A brand new constitution is also totally not out of place. A continuous amendment of the constitution is also not totally out of place. But for you to propose that National Assembly should be able to give legitimacy to a constituent assembly to enact a new constitution, I don't think that is right. The National Assembly have power to completely, bring about a new constitution. So to that extent, the National Assembly have power to bring about a new constitution. They still have power to continue to amend the constitution to fit into what the society wants. I believe that is the only way to go. The constitutional amendment has started. We had the first and third iteration, and this is the fourth one we're going to now. The last one we did in 7th Assembly clash, because at the end of the day, the president did not sign. And they went to court and it delayed. And National Assembly section as of that 7th Assembly ceases. So the 8th Assembly have started another journey again, which I believe at the end of the day we'll see success in it.
Now, I think one of the issues has been people have said, when we say we the people, that the people were not involved in producing the Constitution, which is being, which is the ground norm which we're practicing today. So we need a brand new constitution where we the people, as it were, will be involved. Why has the National Assembly not thought in that direction of, getting a new constitution for the country to deal with some of our foundational problems?
To me, the agitation of the peoples are right. Probably you say the vocal few. Because the most important thing is, have you reached out to the people themselves, the grassroots, to know what they want? It's not commentators on public affairs in our, news media that aggregate the number of people that say you want a clean new constitution. I believe that the constitution we're operating today was imposed on us by military government, but we have accepted it by subjecting ourselves into election. Agreeing that we are going to do election in 1999 based on the constitution that have been imposed on us. So indirectly, we have already subjected our authority to that constitution. So what we need to do now is a continuous amendment to remove those areas that probably does not appeal to us. I believe that that is the only road to go now. The people that are agitating for restructuring, complete restructuring, can also be done by National Assembly. The most important thing is that every constituency should be able to call its members back for interactions and discussion. Now that we have a recess of 6 weeks, I believe that our constituents can always collaborate with us by having a town hall meeting where people will also make their issues known. And this is what the mandate they are giving to their various members that represent them. And the 360 members and 109 senatorial zone should interact with their constituents and provide solutions on the way to go. I think the constitutional amendment is ongoing. It has not finished. There's an area we can also, when we come back, we can also look at some of the issues that are burning issues, even if it has been defeated. Somebody can also, if the two principal houses agreed, that we also need to look at those issues back again in the interest of Nigeria. I don't think it's out of place.
If the National Assembly chooses or, one day says, we're going to, let's begin the process of getting a brand new constitution, which you have said can be done. How can this be done? What would the process look like?
We are already a representative of the people. And if we choose that we will have a new brand constitution, such committee will be constituted. And people will go back to their various constituencies, consult their people, interact with their people on this template. The same thing that people want to give to the Constituent Assembly will be given to each member from their various constituencies. And these issues will be aggregated by another committee that will be set up. So the aggregation of these issues will now streamline the areas that Nigerians have, voiced out that they really want. If you want a complete fiscal federalism, definitely it can be done. There's nothing that is impossible. The National Assembly is represented by 360 legislators, House of Rep, and 109 senators. So if they can go back to that, aggregate their distance and come back, a brand new constitution will be done. There's nothing stopping us from getting a brand new constitution by this National Assembly, not Constituent Assembly. It's like ceding your own power. The person that is coming, is he better than you? Is he more equipped than you? Does he know the act of lawmaking more than you? Those are the issues people will analyze. You want your own federal representative to be well equipped. You set up a technical committee from your constituency that will be able to feed in, the little gap, probably if there's any gap at all, for the member representing you. I think the technical professional committees that will assemble this issue that your ethnic nationality wants can be, given to this representative. And constant interaction as those things were going on. Report will be reporting back, and issues will be analyzed, and you brought it back, and you raised this issue. If all that Nigeria agree in a consensus manner, we all adopt it as a brand new constitution. So there's nothing that is impossible.
You voted for devolution of powers.
Yeah, completely.
Many others did not vote for devolution of powers. That's why it didn't pass.
They are thinking of their constituents. You cannot impose your own constituency thinking on other people. It's an interaction. That means, horse trading, lobbying process. That's the way. That's what it takes.
In other words, the consensus has not been built on the issue of devolution.
Yeah, probably. See, another constituency's thinking is conflicting with another. So there may be another channel through which more discussion should continue, as we go along in amending further. More discussion has to go on. Some constituencies are not in for devolution, and you can't blame them. They must be well convinced. I can't use my constituency thinking to impose on somebody from the Northeast. The way he wants his own Nigeria might be different the way I want it. So, opinion must agree. These two must come together. That's why it is a continuous discussion. It's a burning issue today. And probably with time, people from such areas that never wanted a devolution, in future might have it and decide to vote for it. So you can't just ask National Assembly that National Assembly have gone wrong. They don't have the thinking of Nigeria. If Lagos is thinking devolution, Delta is thinking devolution, probably the entire Southwest and Southwest is thinking devolution, you can't use it to impose on the Northeast or Northwest. You must get them, they must be carried along. That's the essence of why we are in legislature.
We saw this also play out in the Votes for Land Use Act.
Yeah. I voted for removal. I voted for removal. I believe that it's going to create a lot of competitiveness among states. States are going to work according to their own pace, as is done in America. If you watch in America, Oklahoma State is not working in the same pace with Texas. Or neither is it working in the same pace with Washington. Or neither Washington working in the same pace with New York. You see the difference. The tax regime in Maryland that is having boundary with Washington is different. Why Maryland will be 5% tax imposed on item? Washington is looking at between 7 to 10% of tax imposed. So there are different tax regimes. And that's what you want in this country to operate. You want that this country must grow according to their own pace. Lagos will grow at its own pace. My Delta State will grow at its own pace. They must not grow at the same pace. And that's what we want Nigerians to understand. For a country to develop to the extent all of us would love it to be, it has to devolve power to state. State must compete enough. A situation where you have armchair governor coming from their various states to come and take money on FAC every month, it's out of place. And that's the way to go. But my thinking might not be the thinking of somebody in far Borno State. So I will not impose my thinking on him.
So how do we harmonize?
Because that's why we have
positions?
Harmonization is continuous talking, discussion, telling them the advantages of why we should devolve this power.
This is where we wrap up this week's edition of The Gavel. If you have any views on issues discussed, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Once again, I'm Ibrahim Adra. Thank you for watching.